Hey everyone, welcome to the channel. Now you might have noticed that one of the things I love to do here is showcase self-published fantasy, and today I'm going to complement that with some nice freebies for all of you. So because you're here, you're probably aware that SPFBO9 is underway. Today I'm going to go through some of the titles in the competition that have prequel novellas, short stories, novelettes available for you to download for free, so you can sample the author's writing and get a taste for the world before diving into the competition entry itself. So you can get all 12 of the titles I'm going to go through today by signing up to the author newsletters, and I'll leave links to all of those in the box below this video, so do check these out and support your friendly neighbourhood indie author. Now these are in no particular order, but I'm going to showcase a cover and talk you through the synopsis, as well of course as letting you know which book in SPFBO9 this freebie corresponds to. So I've got my handy Kindle here with all the synopses listed for you, and the first one is Pale Night Red Fields by Joseph John Lee, and this one is the first book in the prequel book for the Spellbinders and the Gunslingers, so you can find The Bleeding Stone, book 1 in that series, entered into SPFBO9. The threads of fate are not so easily unwoven. There's a growing fascination among the Dusk tribe with the land of the dead. The tribe's shamans work tirelessly day and night to find a path to communion with people's lost souls, but the answers are slow to uncover. As both the son of a shaman and the tribe's only future seer, Zarro is ordered to view the days and weeks ahead to reveal the source of the tribe's successful discovery. But when he does so, he finds not celebration, but destruction, devastation, sacrifice, and those closest to him blooded by it all. Zarro must find a way to prevent his visions from coming to pass, and he must do so quickly. For the pale night approaches, and it promises a curse that may leave the Dusk tribe forever haunted. Next up on the list of freebies is Doughboy, which is a prequel to the King's Swordman series by Becky James, and you can find book 1 of this series, The Tenets in the Tattoos, as part of SPFBO9. The baker's boy gets by as best he can, but when he defeats a rogue mage, he realises he may have a promising career as a swordsman for the king. But can he convince his father and himself of that? Gawain Gormorson spends his days helping his father and dreaming of being something more. When a boy from Special Forces arrives to investigate the potential hiding place of a rogue mage, Gawain surprises himself and his father. Eager to try out to join the regular army, Gawain joins for intake Senite and meets with resistance, not only from the other recruits, but within himself and his father. Can he decide what his heart wants and seize it? For fans of adventure, sword and sorcery, young adult fantasy and high fantasy. Next up we've got From the Ashes, part of the Heart of Quinaria by B.S.H. Garcia, and you can find the opening book to this series of Thieves and Shadows in this year's competition. The civil war ends now. Ichthyus and his rebels have fought tirelessly against a would-be dictator and his army for almost 2 years. The city they've holed up in has become a prison, soon to be a tomb, if they cannot arrange a means of escape. When the enemy leader offers an armistice that's too good to be true, Ichthyus reluctantly accepts, thinking it will buy him enough time to smuggle those loyal to him out of the city. But he quickly learns the cost of choosing hope over caution as he finds himself caught in the enemy's sinister plan, fighting a final unexpected battle. Failure means death, or worse, the loss of his loved ones. And he only has one night to determine everyone's fate. From the Ashes is a prequel novelette that takes place over 2,000 years prior to the events in Of Thieves and Shadows, book 1 in the series. Next up we have A Hired Blade, part of the Everland cycle by J.C. Rycroft, and you can find The Bloodborne Dragon from this series in SPFBO9. A sellsword's bargain, a burgeoning desire, a future balanced on the point of a blade. Sellsword Des is travelling alone in a dry and dusty southern land after a spectacular bust-up with her best friend. She's running low on coin, so when former client Karina offers her a job leading her caravan security through brigand country, it feels like a gift. Des has done the route before, but she isn't sure about leading solo. She recommends Karina hire Cap, a rugged old mercenary to head up the crew. Maybe she'll even learn a thing or two about how to lead in between the delightful distraction of Karina's flirtations and keeping the marauders at bay. As they head off on their long trip across Rescalin though, the wheels start to come off Des's plan, the crew is drinking too much even on duty, and Cap is dismissive of the dangers she identifies. Des worries she's made the wrong call by putting Cap as the lead, and Karina is in her ear, wanting her to take over. As brigands close in, will Des back the merc she put in charge, or will she take over and risk the caravan's safety resting on her blade alone? If you enjoy sapphic fantasy, badass women wielding swords, an Australian-inspired setting, and a sellsword struggling for a place in the world, pick up a hired blade today and join Des on her journey. The next one on the list is Welcome to Potion Con, a side quest row story by R.K. Ashwick, and you can find a rival most vile in this year's SPFBO competition. Bubbling Cauldron, love it. Bubbly people, not so much. Young apprentice Ambrose Beak knows everything about potions except how to talk to other potioneers. So when the annual potion convention rolls into town, he's both thrilled and riddled with anxiety. Will the chatty crowds be too much for him, or will he find his people? In this light-hearted Dungeons & Dragons meets Comic-Con short story, you'll meet the main character of a rival most vile 8 years before his rival sets up shop across the street. This next one doesn't really have much of a synopsis, but it's The Revenge of Thousands by Michael Roberti, which is a Crown and Tide prequel, and the title in SPFBO9 is The Traitors We Are. Before we were traitors, before there was a grave waiting for us all, while the worms remained, it started with a war, it began with revenge. Now, as a disclaimer, this one is a prequel novella to The Traitors We Are, but reviewers do recommend that you might be better off reading it after you read the main novel. Next up, we've got An Imperfect Trap, which is the prequel to The Imperfect Kafar by C.N. Rowan, and you can find Imperfect Magic as part of SPFBO9. Reincarnating every time I get killed doesn't help when the trap won't let me die. Getting trapped in a psychotic phase twisted game isn't my idea of a fun Friday afternoon. When one of them shows up in my territory of Toulouse uninvited, I was never going to just let it slide. Now I'm stuck in a locked room mystery in another dimension. What does the failing want, and what price am I going to pay to find my way home again? There's never a pair of red ruby slippers around when you need them. An Imperfect Trap is a standalone prequel novella to the Imperfect Kafar series, a darkly funny supernatural suspense following 3 immortal heretics through their misadventures in the southwest of France. Now I've got Warsong, which is part of the Price of Power series, and you can find the book of the same name, The Price of Power, by author Michael Michel as part of SPFBO9. Admar's future is paved with broken glass. Each step forward, living under Scofian tyranny, cuts away another piece of his humanity, right down to the very bone. But even a meagre life as a miner is better than a pointless death. A sister, a mother, a lover, all lost at the uncaring hands of the Scoffs, have left him with nothing but memories of ash and comfort. While stories like his are all too common, they still aren't enough to stoke rebellion among the oppressed. If Admar is to find hope among the brutal occupation of his homeland, he'll have to question how deep his convictions go. For every crack of the enemy's whip, he'll know torment. With every swipe of their axes, he'll know suffering. And every moment he refuses to act will draw him further from his destiny. Maybe there are no heroes left, or maybe they're waiting to be made. The events of this novelette take place 73 years prior to the events of A Price of Power. The next freebie I've got for you is Ranger's Justice, a prequel to Ranger of the Titan Wilds by J.D.L. Roselle, and you can find book 1 in that series, The Last Ranger, in this year's competition. A ranger never rests till she claims justice. Leyin, a ranger of the perilous Titan Wilds, has recently earned her cloak. After 7 years of training, she's finally recognised as a fully inducted member of the Lodge. But her fellow rangers don't call her Firebrand for nothing. When she and her mentor follow a suspicious trail to a precarious situation, Leyin will show just how far she's willing to go to uphold her duties as a ranger, even if the price is her life. Next I've got Beyond the Shadows, which is part of the Battleborn Mage series by Angel Hayes, and you can find the book Blood of Vengeance in SPFBO9. Fiends lurk in the shadows. Shadowspawn slaughtered Jarrett's family, leaving him and his brother orphans. Determined to have his vengeance, Jarrett and his comrades guard the Black Wall, the only thing standing between Orcanthia and the seemingly endless waves of monsters hell-bent on destruction and death. Yet when the Shadowspawn launch an all-out attack, Jarrett is thrust into a battle of cataclysmic proportions. When darkness spreads and the death toll mounts, even the Shadow Guard's courage and skill may not stand against their evil. Will Jarrett survive the onslaught, or will the rising tide of darkness destroy his world? The penultimate title I've got on my list of freebies for you is A Pendant for Trouble, part of the Lady Diviner series by Rosalie Oakes, and you can find the first book in the series, The Lady Jewel Diviner, in SPFBO9. A mysterious pendant, a distracting girl, an unfolding scandal. Miss Eleanor Averley can't resist the call of a large jewel mysteriously concealed at a ducal garden party. After all, if the Earl of Beresford isn't attending, what else is Eleanor to do with herself? Her talent for divining jewels can be an intriguing distraction for once, instead of a carefully guarded family secret. Of course, her hunt for the jewel leads her straight into a mystery, and worse, an undignified encounter with Beresford. Yet when Eleanor's quest goes from unseemly to scandalous, he is the one who tries to save her. The question is, will she let him? A Pendant for Trouble is the prequel novella to the Lady Diviner historical mystery series set in the Regency era with generous servings of magic, mystery and romance. And then finally I have The Rider in the Night from the Frostmarked Chronicles by Brendan Noble, and A Dagger for the Winds is in this year's competition. One rider's journey will save his tribe or end it forever. Andri has guarded the cold slopes of Perron's crown for years. Though he longs for home, his service pays for his father's debt to the Astui king. He just needs his chance to earn his freedom. When the horsemen from the east come with tidings of war, he sees exactly that. Facing his tribe's destruction, the king commands Andri to ride for his western allies. If Andri succeeds, his debts will be forgiven. If he fails, his tribe will surely fall. Set in the days before A Dagger in the Winds, enter the Frostmarked Chronicles world of Slavic mythology with the journey that begins it all. So as I say, all of the links for these authors' websites are down in the box below this video. Check them out, sign up to their newsletters, and you can get copies of all of these prequel novellas, short stories and novelettes. And I did forget to mention, but with J.D.L. Roselle, he's one of many of these authors who've written multiple series. His freebie is available as part of a box set where you can get the prequel novella to, I think it's 4 of his series. Now, of course, this wasn't an exhaustive list of all of the freebie teasers that are available for SPFBO9 entrants. If you know of any others, if you're an author and you've got a freebie available to ease people into the world of your SPFBO9 entry, leave a comment down below and let us know where we can find it. That's everything I've got for you today. I hope you found something here of interest to you, and if you try any of them out, come back and leave a comment below and let me know how it went. I'll hopefully catch you in the next video sometime soon, but until then, as always, take care of yourselves, read some good books. Bye for now.